Hi, I'm Jackie from Speedcafe and I'm here with Geoff from MARC Australia with the newest addition to the MARC Cars family. Can you tell us about it?
I can tell you lots about it. This is our new baby. It's the latest, this is now hopefully the latest of all the good stuff from the Mark 1 and Mark 2, all put together in a new package and designed to be the most affordable racing you can do at quite a high speed. The lap times this car will do will be the fastest any GT type car for the cheapest possible you can do. So yeah, I'd love to show you.
Let's go.
Let's go. Everything from the Mark 2 and the Mark 1 has got into this car, but the whole car's been designed by Pace Innovations up at Yatala. They have the latest technology in everything to do with race cars. They are the pinnacle in this country of building race cars. Yep. So it's all very fine to say this is my new baby, but I'm busily saying I want. Pace Innovations then go, all right, this is what you want, this is what you get. So this is the result of certainly myself at MARC Cars Australia and Pace. I can't say enough, they're the best.
So what was it that you wanted in this car? What makes this one special and different?
The affordability. The affordability in everything we've got in motor racing in Australia is at what cost? I'm trying to create the average man to be able to go very, very fast for the least amount of money. That's basically the whole format around this car, is certainly to get the best of both cars, but to have that speed and those lap times at the affordable price. So this is it. So when I say affordable price, we're using the same wheel and tyre package. We're on the 305 Pirelli tyre, 11-inch rims all round. So having 11-inch rims all round, it's affordable straight away. In our other GT cars, we run a bigger rear tyre, more expensive, straight away in the cost. So everything about this car is to be the best value for money. We haven't skimped on anything with the car, but yeah, to achieve that has been really, really hard. Straight away inside, our cars, all my cars, are very much for your engineer to teach people how to drive. They are very, very supportive. All the driver aids are incredible in all our cars, and especially this one. As you can see, there's no big buttons to touch. There's nothing to get lost. There's nothing to do in there. Everything's on the steering wheel. Everything is very, very simple. So each driver has not too many buttons to play with. We want to give them the basics. Naturally, they have traction control. Yeah. They have ABS. Yeah. They have all your timing comes up, so your predicted times. Everything you need to drive and go well. Because naturally your engineer will be telling you what to do all the time. He has the same data. Okay.
So tell me, what am I looking at?
Everything, that's a computer screen. So everything's displayed there for you. You have your lights, which will also be for your gear changes to tell you when to change gears. But that is what I was saying before about the green lights. All the different lights come up to make sure you're hitting the brakes at the right pressure, and all these buttons in the middle. Naturally, one to talk to your engineer, one to have a drink, very important to stay hydrated. But everything you need to know is on that steering wheel, and nothing else. There's no need to look at anywhere else. You've got naturally your mirrors you're looking at and you're looking out, but there's nothing else. The rain light and the wipers are on the dash button up there, but other than that, everything's on the steering wheel. Naturally, with your paddle shift behind there, when you're driving, there's never any need to take your hand off the wheel. And that is a good thing. In the olden days, we used to have the shaft. Yeah. Believe it or not, we go quicker with paddle shift. So, but no, everything is there. And here again, it's just nice and simple. We didn't overcomplicate anything. It runs the Motec, for instance, the M1 Motec, exactly the same as all good race cars. So all your data is downloaded to your engineer afterwards, and he has all of the data there. And he will say to you straight away, I want you to go 20 metres further in the braking area. I want you to do this, I want you to do that. It has all the data to do that with, but very, very simple. There's I call it nothing, don't give them too much to play with. That's all. Yeah. So that's inside the car. Hey, coming around the car, naturally, the centre of gravity and all the technical stuff that Pace do is the best it can be. So the car is everything is down really, really low, from the engine, gearbox, everything is down low to get that centre of gravity, which helps with all corner speeds and so forth.
Yeah.
Coming around the back, it has a fairly good aero package. It has a very good aero package on it. You can put more on it, but here again, to leave it at a budget, you could put a lot more aero in the car, but there's no need to. All the way straight away with the wing. The technology in the wings of all race cars these days is incredible. We've come a long way with the wing. So this is here again, Pace designed the wing, and the whole setup, and same thing. It's very simple, looks good, and it works.
Yeah.
So, hey, coming around the back, we run a really basic rear diffuser. That's all that's needed. Just basic, but lovely clean lines. There's nothing, it's very aerodynamically good.
So how is the gearbox different to a different race car? What makes this one any better?
It runs the Holinger 6-speed, the other one from the Albans. But even the gear shifter, everything now, that's been designed by Holinger for MARC cars.
Yeah.
So the gear shifting mechanisms, everything is built into the gearbox. It is absolutely magnificent. They've done a magnificent job. So when I always say about the latest technology in a 6-speed gearbox hasn't really changed. But Holinger have put us a package together that is absolutely gorgeous. And just doing the guy thing with toys.
Is it time to go under the bonnet now?
Come up the front.
Great. Tell me about this.
So this is where the magic happens.
Yeah.
But same thing. Here again, for instance, we've gone with a conventional suspension. The inboard suspension on the Mark II is just a lot more complicated, a lot more expensive. So we've gone back more tradition. But we've gone back to an LS. The Coyotes are in the Mark IIs and Mark Is. We've gone back to an LS. It's basically a standard 6.2 litre latest model LS engine. It runs naturally our dry sump and our extractors and our manifold. So it's producing round about 560 odd horsepower. The magic then after that, we run a PWR radiator set up out the front. So it's air in here, air comes out through both radiators.
Yeah.
Under that box in the middle, it has a heat exchange unit that will actually heat the engine oil and cool the engine oil and the engine temperature from both the radiators, run through the Motec. So that's basically a brain is running the whole cooling system. So by getting my oil temperature and my water temperature virtually exactly the same, that achieves the motor the best life and the most amount of horsepower.
Yeah.
In race car land, that's the best you can do, and that's what we've achieved. So the car, engine, everything, we're confident we'll get 10,000 Ks out of an engine before we even have to look at it for a rebuild.
Yeah, wow.
So, yes, aerodynamically, as you can see now with the bonnet off, nothing there changes, that all changes the same, but in the new GT-SS, which will be for sports sedans, it'll actually be a little bit more Mustang inspired. So there's a few changes we can actually make. So going forward, if we wanted to do, something that looked like a bit of an Audi or something that was inspired by an Audi or anything down the track, we can do. The car's also lent itself to a few modifications for its looks.
Yeah.
But as far as, so aerodynamically and everything now, the front is spot on. You've got your main hole in the middle, which takes your air up into the engine. The two beside that come out to your brake system for your cooling of your brakes. And the ones on the outside come through for the radiators. So perfectly efficient.
Yeah.
Is probably the best way to say it.
So Geoff, it had its debut run at Queensland Raceway in the MARC Cars Australia last weekend. It's going to Phillip Island this weekend to race in the Fanatec GT series. What other events can this car race in?
Well, as you say, the MARC Car series is the backbone. The GT Phonetic series definitely is where we would like it to be because it certainly suits those events in a big way. And then in October this year, we will have the sports sedan version, which is completely separate again. But you will be able to race it in those three categories.
And I heard you had a little run with it last weekend as well. How did it go?
Yeah, so we had our MARC Cars series last week. And this is Adam Hargroves' car. And for Adam, that's racing TA2 car, production car, a lot of other stuff. But to jump straight in the car and did a low 10 at QR straight away,
Yeah.
he got out with the biggest smile on his face and made brought a tear to my eye. And he said, I'm so happy. Because he's like myself, we're AM drivers that can do this car no problem at all. We'll do a high 8, a low 9 at QR with an AM driver at the wheel. And that's what I set out to do. This whole thing is to try and have those sort of times for an AM driver, whether he's a business owner or whatever reason that he can't afford to race Porsche Cup or anything higher. That's the guys we want. That's the guys and girls. We'd love to have some girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole idea, to be affordable racing at the best lap time we can achieve.
Yeah. And how does it feel to drive? What was the feedback that Adam gave?
Yeah, well, I call it a gentleman's car.
Okay, tell me about that.
Because with the driver aids and so forth, there is no need to be doing a lot of this in there. There is no need for that. And that's another thing. With your driver aids, when you hit your corner, you get your green lights on your dash. That's telling you you've got your right brake pressure. If you don't do those sort of things, your engineer will say, mate, what's going on? But that's why I say with a gentleman's car, everything's there for you, that you can go to your corner, you can hit your brake pressure, your turning, your mid-corner. Everything is absolutely gorgeous. You don't have to fight the car. So as a bit of a gag, I call it an old man's car or a gentleman's car to drive. But the young ones, here again, the young people that we've had in these cars are just magnificent because they have no fear, they have no anything, and they're just super, super quick. But here again, I've targeted probably a bit more of the gentleman's market for guys like myself and gentleman drivers.
How many people does it take to run this car?
As a bare minimum, you'd need a mechanic, an engineer, which can be your dad, your sister, your brother, and naturally you're the driver. So it's 3 people dead minimum to run this car. It's very, very tyre dependent. We've set the cars up perfectly for pretty much every track. There is minor changes for each track we go to. But to be totally honest, just change the tyres and go race it. That's going to be 95% of it. There is certainly some alterations to camber and so forth for each event, sure, but you can just have a mechanic, keep the tyres up to it and have a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much, Geoff, for inviting Speedcafe into the garage to show us the new GT MARC car. It's been very special having you explain it to us.
Pleasure to have you, and thank you very much for Speedcafe. You've been very supportive of us. We very much appreciate it.
And of course, Speedcafe will be following this car at Phillip Island next weekend and at all of the races beyond, and you'll be able to catch all of that info at speedcafe.com.